Okay, gang, Roy Free Sr. here again, and today I'm going to bring you a video about power building. And it's largely based around an article from 1990 by Vince Gironda. What? Wait, what? Yeah, straight from the Iron Guru himself, believe it or not. From 1990, and I found it on the Awesome Diddlo blog where I get a lot of material. It's an awesome site. My friend Dale Credico runs it. But anywho, I found this looking for. I was going to do an article on the subject myself because it seems to be popping up on YouTube channels quite a bit. And there's a little bit of controversy. I noticed that a lot of my, especially my natural uh, bodybuilding friends on YouTube that are influencers, seem to have a big bias against powerlifting for some reason. Um, They bend over backwards to point out that powerlifting and bodybuilding are completely mutually exclusive entities. Neither has anything to do with each other and certainly can't benefit each other. They say when you train specifically to lift heavy weights for a one rep max, you're not and you cannot be a bodybuilder, as bodybuilders are only concerned with muscle size, quality, symmetry, and definition. Which, yeah, sure, they're concerned with all those things. But my answer to that is there have been some powerlifters and Olympic lifters that had tremendous physiques, and some of them did become bodybuilders. Some of them started out as bodybuilders, then got into powerlifting. Guys I'm talking about are Jim Cash, Joe Ladnier, Roger Estep, especially Vince Anello, Franco Colombo, Doug Young, and I could go on, but I think you get the idea. So it's funny. All of the above guys were world class powerlifters, fantastic physiques, with the exception of Franco, who they all focused on lifting heavy weights, which Franco did that too, but that wasn't his number one focus. He was mainly a bodybuilder, as you know. But their physiques were more or less side effects of the heavy lifting on the basic compound lifts. And combined with the fact that these guys were often trying to stay in a certain weight class, so they did a little bit of dieting, maybe even doing some cardio, which for many powerlifters is a four-letter word, was for me at a certain time. That combination led to some very impressive physiques, and it went right along with the power that they exhibited. So it's at this point into my working on this idea, I ran into the following 1990 mentioned article above from the Guru called Powerlifting Bodybuilding Routine by Vince Gironda, which I found rather shocking since Vince is against squats, among other things. But anyway, we'll go right into that article. As always, much will depend upon your genetic potential and body type, but you can successfully combine bodybuilding and powerlifting. Franco Colombo is the most obvious example. In the powerlifting world, men like Doug Young, Dave Shaw, Jim Cash, and Roger Estep have very balanced muscular builds despite being powerlifters. But you will have to do more than just a few curls and some ab work along with the three power lifts to get big and strong. These are all quotes from Vince. Follow a more traditional bodybuilding routine, but stress the power lifts and do less reps and more weight in your exercises. So he gives a 4 day routine example, which is just that. And we're going to go ahead and put the routine. Now you can see in the routine here for the compound lifts like the squat, leg press, bench press, and those kind of deadlifts, you're basically doing a pyramid where you're starting out with high reps like 10, 8, and going up in weight and down in reps like a typical pyramid. And in some things he goes down to a double, some a single, but that's about it. And then after the write up of the routine, Vince says this is an example of a combination powerlifting bodybuilding routine, and appropriate substitutions can be made depending on the individual. That's all from Vince. Now, from me, the power routine that I followed for many years was a 4-day-a-week split, was not really much different than the program suggested here, although I would not really have considered it a bodybuilding program at the time. Mainly because I ate what I wanted. I avoided treadmills and other cardio machines per se with a passion. I did take walks outside semi-regularly, but I was not looking to have an 8-pack or any of that kind of stuff at the time. And it's funny that Vince's list had several names in common with the one that I came up with, in terms of those that he recognized as being good examples of well-built power guys, which there are plenty more, and there have been more since that 1990 article that Vince wrote. We could also mention, like I said, the Olympic guys, several of which were Grimick, Kono, and Sergio Oliva. A lot of people don't realize Sergio had been an Olympic lifter before he became the great bodybuilder that he was. But that's just to name a few. So I think that you certainly can, especially if you're a beginning bodybuilder, the power lifts are a great base for mass, size, and strength. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll hit subscribe. And we're going to keep coming up with good content as much as I can. So I'll see you on YouTube. Thanks again. Bye.